This is the Simpit. I'm your host, Sean Cole, but the real star of today's show are you guys, the pit crew, because you are here to talk about sim racing here on the Pitstop, today's edition of the Pitstop. And thank you for being here. And unfortunately, I am not feeling well today, which is really crappy. I had a great day yesterday, great night. And then this morning I woke up and something just not right. I've been dizzy and tired, and I think sleep deprivation is finally starting to fatigue me to a point that I'm going to have to remedy. Anyway, so I apologize for me being a little lack of energy this morning. Not a lot of news to talk about, mostly some just like racing and things that are going on out there. So I'm going to probably blow through it and get done. I have a very big race this weekend, and it's causing me a little extra pressure, I guess you could say. We have the Spa 24-hour race, and I'm finally getting up to speed on that, but not really where I want to be, and so many things behind the scenes. So anyway, I'm hoping that by the end of the weekend that everything is normalized. That's what I'm hoping for. But we're only Thursday, so we're a long way away from the end of the weekend. But what do we got going on in sim racing? Let's get through this real quick and move on to our rest and relaxation and, well, realistically, more practice, more driving. A lot of driving going on. So the Forza Road Championships has been going on. We talked about that happening yesterday. Some big races, and all the big guns were there. So in race 1, it was TX3 Lightning with Venom and Vanquish, who took second and third. Race 2, Lightning once again with Venom and Vanquish in second and third. And then in the third race, I'm sorry. Sorry about that. But the third race, Blisco was the big winner, with Veloce, Force 1, and Harmonic 1 coming in second and third. So our final points after the whole event was Lightning, Billy So, and Venom as our big three drivers. So good things going on there. Also, this is the big 70s thing. So there were some paint jobs in honor of some 70s paint schemes. Oh, Dastardly and Muttley. You guys remember that? This was that racing series cartoon that was on. Anyone remember the name of that? Yellow Submarine. Look at that. Beatles inspiration. Alright, what else we got going on? Formula 1 2018 has another video out showing off the headline edition of F1 2018, excuse me, including talking about, once again, the Braun BGP 001 and the Williams FW25. So just a little teaser as things are heating up as we get very, very close to the release date of not only F1 2018, but a handful of titles coming out in August. Race Room had some big names. Jaroslav Honzik of Avid Chronic Racing talking about being off the pace, yet here he is finishing in second place in the Red Bull Ring, Spielberg. And that's another one of those big competitions going on. So Dornadin wins, and Luan finished in third. Like I said, a lot of race results. Not so much a race result, but we talked about Eldora Raceway. We talked about Moffitt. Yeah, Brett Moffitt getting that iRacing sponsored thing. Anyway, here's a cool picture. So the guy's racing at Eldora in a truck, and he's a sim racer. And so who are these guys behind him? These 5 and the guy down here? Those 6 guys are his online teammates who all drove from all over the country to Eldora to cheer him on. So it just shows you, we talk often about our community. We talk about our friends and how close we all are, how tight. And anyway, I love to see sim racers getting out there and supporting a fellow sim racer in a real-life venture. And he went on to finish in 5th place, which is a great, great run for him. So congratulations to him as well. GT Planet has a write-up here about playground games showing off the perfect British summer in Forza 4. We talked about, we probably had 3 or 4 stories talking about the seasonal change and it being in Britain. another video. More information, all this at GT Planet, talking more about Horizon 4 as it gets nearer to its release as well. El Bucho, is El Bucho here? Did Bucho make the stream? FA Racing, man, they can't stop these guys. Anyway, they went on to win the overall championship in the Nations Cup. They went on to win the Manufacturers Cup. And these guys in GT Sport are, and more than GT Sport, you know, for years and years and years, I've just given the champion trophy to Team Redline as the most dominant sim racing team in sim racing. And recently, you could make the argument for VRS, you could make the argument for FA Racing. But I think by the end of this year, it's going to be very hard to determine the best sim racing team out there. FA Racing certainly making the argument for them being on top of the world. We did our hot lap hump day yesterday. It was a lot of fun with the guys at Rick Motec and Extreme Motorsports. At the Rick Motec site today, though, they have a picture of, that's Lonnie Unzer, right? Isn't that her name? Yeah, Lonnie Unzer and her racing Miata. And you can see a big, giant Rick Motec logo right there on the front of the car. So, she is representing Rick Motec, and that is very cool. Game Debate has an article. Man, I'm blowing through this. I am trying so hard to just get this done and get out of here. I'm just like, my energy level's just dropping. The room is darkening. No, that sounds extreme. The room is not darkening. Let's make that clear. Energy levels are dropping, though. So, excuse me. Article here at Game Debate talking about AMD versus NVIDIA and drivers and how stable the drivers are. But it turns out that NVIDIA drivers have over 2 times the failure rate of AMD drivers, according to a third-party analysis. Yeah, that's why I'm saying, Devin, there's no light or dark going on. I was a little dizzy earlier when I woke up, but not dizzy now. But anyway, that's kind of a surprise. NVIDIA, I mean, they've been so dominant for so years, kind of inexcusable that they would have twice the failure rate of AMD. We are talking the drivers themselves, not the cards. This is the drivers. Anyway, I've heard more and more news about the next Xbox, and I've heard denials, I've heard confirmations. Anyway, The Verge here has an article that says Microsoft is actually teasing the all-new Xbox hardware. This is not the only place that I've heard this announcement, by the way. But apparently at Gamescom in Germany next month, they are going to have reports on the new Xbox that's going to come out in 2020. So the battle of the consoles is getting ready to heat up again as well. This has nothing to do with sim racing. But if you think of the Crew 2, where they're combining driving and flying, and you consider the cars or the companies at stake. But Aston Martin is unveiling a sports car for the skies that they've designed. This will use Rolls-Royce engine, and is a futuristic-looking plane that would, you know, we hear about this all the time now, you know, or since I was a kid even, but flying cars, we'll all be flying in the skies. Forget these roads and being down on the ground like we talk about. Hey, Sim Racing 604, how you doing, buddy? Is that a percentage or just raw 2-to-1? I think it would be the same, Spatial. Correct me on my math, but isn't that the same number? This is interesting. This is at my favorite site, motorsport.com, but I actually was able to read the entire article in this case. So this one not behind the paywall. UK design firm awarded new Bathurst circuit tender. Here's obviously a fan. I was looking at this trying to figure out, wait, where is Bathurst in this image? If this is the main straight, I mean, this image looks nothing like Bathurst to me. Am I wrong? But looks like Bathurst is going to get new tendership, as they are putting it in their article. And we could see some massive changes coming from Bathurst, which doesn't surprise me because this track has become more and more popular. The events that they've hosted there have become bigger and bigger. And I'm sure they want to draw even bigger events to Bathurst. Andreas, yes, I really have to race tonight, rain or shine, sick or not. Because I will not be able to race tomorrow night. The Xbox Ultimate Game Sale for 2018 kicks off. So this is, was this a UK only? Why do I think this was UK only? No, this is just Xbox Gaming Sale. Huge numbers, so I'm not going to go through the list because we're just at A right here. We haven't even gotten to B. We have to scroll all the way down here to get to B. But when I look at the numbers, I'm seeing 70, 40, 60, 30, 30, 30, 40, 67, 50%. Lots of different sales, lots of things on sale. So might be a good time to pick up on some Xbox games. New proposed layout. See, turn 1 turns left. Yeah, exactly. I couldn't see the, like, if this is the main grandstand and we're going this way, it'd go left up the hill. If this was the main grandstand, I would turn left and go this way up the hill. This looks nothing like any version of Bathurst. John Hill had rotator cuff surgery and has been out of action. Xbox Hub. Are you ready to join the craziest game show on earth? Guts and Glory is here. I wasn't going to cover this, but it just kind of made me laugh. This would definitely be a good Monday Fun Day title. But you are supposed to ride through this course and not get torn up, blown up, scarred up. Anyway, there was a Trials game that I played that had a wreck yourself mission on it where you literally would just try to break as many bones, I believe was what it was trying to do. But anyway, this could be a cool, fun game. It looks cool. I like anything that involves crashing. You know this. You know this about me. True Achievements has, we talked about Super Street just the other day. I'd never even heard of it. But apparently it's been delayed to September. So that new game where, this is the one where you tune your car, I believe. Yeah, we just talked about this yesterday. And apparently, with the amount of attention they got, they decided, we better back things off. So September will be the launch date for that now. What else we got? Oh, I got a lot more stories. Gosh, I'm tired. PC Invasion has an article here. And I never even thought of this before. But I didn't even read the article, but I just read the headline and it made me think. But Microsoft should make a Windows gaming edition. And you think, you know, Windows with the Xbox, Windows with them attempting the cross-platform compatibility between Forza. Why is there not a specific gaming edition? I think of my Windows and how much it comes with preloaded stuff that has nothing to do with my gaming world. And maybe it could be optimized more for gaming. And wouldn't it be nice if you could buy the gaming edition and know that they had cut the fat and made it so that it was made really to do that more than anything else. Maybe optimize graphics drivers, things like that. But if you want to read this article, you can find out their opinion. But I like it in theory. PC Invasion. PC Gamer has a write-up on the deal, so hold them accountable, not me. But Zotax Magnus, the mini PC with the GTX 1060 is just $550. So you want one of those turnkey computers, mini computers. It almost looks like a console. I mean, that's the size, the shape of a console. Gonna be easy. Might make a pretty decent media center depending on total hard drive. Do I have a total hard drive size? And that's an area where this would really beat a console. It runs on the Xbox. Gaming mode? I haven't tried the gaming mode. Is it a significant change or difference? GameStop has a write-up here mentioning that you can get 3 months of Xbox Game Pass very cheap right now. I believe it was $10 for 3 months, so that is pretty cheap. If you want to try out Xbox Pass, it'd be a good time to do that. Sim Race Hardware News Test has a write-up talking about Fanatics Podium, their launch video. And we actually made their write-up because they basically they didn't have the best of things to say about their presentation video. But they did say, I will try to send you the elements despite my low level of English, but I advise you to watch the live via Simpit. It's funny. So we had a good time with that. If some of you guys missed that, it was a funny video, and I had to throw out some apologies because I might have been a little over the top, and I did talk over some of the details. But I assumed anybody who really, really wanted the details would be watching the video, not watching me watching the video. But anyway, nonetheless, thank you, SimRace, for taking notice of our video. We had fun with that one. Another one here talking about sim racing arriving in Austria. Fascination Sim Racing arrived in Austria. So, just another write-up talking about general gaming. Tom Jones, thank you very much. That is the plan. I swear, I wish I didn't have a practice at 11 because I need to go back to sleep. And I slept a lot last night. Anyway, but this is a cool write-up talking about things getting better in Austria in the world of sim racing. And a little write-up showing you various different things. And another cool story out there for the world. And I mention these because, again, I just see how much more popular sim racing is becoming. And, you know, 10 years ago, we would be embarrassed to tell our friends we sim race. 10 years ago, a girl might not want to date you because she saw your rig. Sim racing is becoming more common, and that's going to help us all feel a little less geeky each and every day as we pursue our hobby. Oh, absolutely, Sim Racing 64 created a buzz. I mean, will that buzz translate into sales? Will that buzz translate into happy clients, customers? Not sure. And yes, it generated a buzz, but I don't think they did themselves any favors with that. You know, when you yeah, I can't imagine their presentation sold a single podium wheel. And the buzz, I think, has been 18 months of hype, and I think that's why that video kind of got hammered so badly by not only me, but a lot of people in the world. You know, a lot of buzz building up to that video, which put a lot of expectations on that video. Anyway, Auto Guide has an article here talking about the top 5 racing simulator games, and I think they really got a little too carried away with the games. They should have called it driving games, not simulator games. But here's their list. Let's see what you guys think about it and what you think might be missing. Assetto Corsa, sure. Project Cars 2, sure. Gran Turismo Sport, can't argue it. F1 2017, depending on how you look at it, maybe. Dirt 4. And that's it. And I think, wow, where's R Factor 2? Where's iRacing? I don't necessarily agree with this list. I would almost call this an amateur list of the top 5 racing simulator games. Anyway, what are your guys' top 5? What do you think is best? What do you think is missing? What do you think should never have made that list? Another article here also at Auto Guide. Racing simulators. Everything you need to know. And when I was talking about right here in the line, racing simulators are rapidly rising in popularity and are even used by professionals to practice. What do you know? But mainstream article kind of giving people a little insight as to how sim racing has become real, how it's become serious, how it's become not just a game. So I thank the guys at Auto Guide for mainstreaming sim racing and making it so, you know, our moms, our people who don't know what we're doing might see this and actually realize, oh wow, it's a lot more serious than I thought. I'm going to just keep reminding you. So every time I see an article, I'm going to remind you, because if you're in Germany, if you're in Europe, and you have an opportunity, September 14th through 16th, you are going to want to be at the ADAC Sim Racing Expo. This is the biggest sim racing expo in the world at this point. I love this shot. Billy Strain, you see this? Look at these slot car guys. But it will be a sim racing party with a very important race going on in the background. You know, just some real life, you know, campaign type race going on in the background. But the big deal will be the big race. They'll probably do their digital GT 500 again. I think a handful of different sim companies show up and do their own esport there. With the explosion of esport this year since the last Sim Racing Expo, I would expect things to get out of hand there this year. I think you're going to... I wouldn't be surprised if by the time this finalizes everything, you're going to see the biggest sim racing competitions going on there. Here's an article here at Digital Trends. How to build a cheap VR-ready PC. So I've never really given thought to exactly what specific parts I would use if I was building a PC. Someone corrected me. ADAC is pronounced A-D-A-C. Oh, A. Why didn't you just write A-D-A-C? You made that a lot harder than it had to be, Sim Racing 604. A-D-A-C, not ADAC. Anyway, but if you wanted to... Max? Yeah, I thought so, buddy. But if you wanted to know what you should do different, how to build a cheap computer specifically for VR, you can check this out at digitaltrends.com. I did mention this yesterday, but there's a write-up at Full Esport and talking about Pure Racing. They won that big 6-hour endurance race, the VRS GT iRacing World Championship. So this is a big competition that does bring out the biggest teams. I mean, all of the big teams are there, and we saw that climactic finish, and Pure Racing team was the ones who won, so I'll just give them, not one word, I'll give them another pat on the back. And that takes me to the end. I got a press release from the guys at Assetto Corsa Competizione. So I just want to remind you guys once again that they will be at Spa this coming weekend, right? Excuse me, you guys. Sorry, I'm just very under the weather. But just want to remind you guys, they'll be there. They're going to be there with their new partnership. So Pirelli, AK Informatica, R-Seat, you can be able to check out the S1, their new R-Seat S1 rig will be there. They will have Fanatic wheels, not the podium. It looks like they're going to have 2.5 wheels. There will be prizes available, hot lap competition, everything that you need, and you'll be able to be one of the first people to actually see, hear, and drive Assetto Corsa Competizione. And man, this, you know, you want to talk about hype, and I'm not saying anything good or bad here. I'm just saying there is a lot of hype around Competizione. I see articles written up every day all over town, repeating the same information over and over and over again, regurgitating the same photos, the same lines about their early access. And I'm not knocking them because I'm very much anticipating and expecting Competizione. I just kind of wonder, wow, this is a lot going on about a sim that will focus on one series only. I think about, man, us sim racers, it's so funny. We are such a weird group. On one hand, we fault a game when it doesn't have the content that we want. Oh, it doesn't have this series. It doesn't have these cars. Oh, how can they call themselves a sim if they don't have this track? On the other hand, we get overly enthusiastic about other things that might even be like completely the polar opposite. Is it shouldn't be moving? There's no wind. There's nothing. Or is it just me? That's how I feel today, David. Everything for me is going, ooh. I'm like, it's not that bad. But no, it could be me. Maybe I am making the banner move because I am dizzy. Anyway, get out there to Spa. If you go, you know, a lot of good things going on. And if anybody wants to try it out and see for themselves, it will be there. And you can win some prizes, meet some of the people behind Assetto Corsa Competizione. So that is, look at that, 25 minutes. We almost made 30 minutes, short on news and me kind of just rolling through things because I'm looking to get out of here. Anyway, I do have an 11 o'clock practice. I don't think I'm going to stream it because I'm just not feeling up to it. Then I got to rest up, and I have a race tonight at 6 o'clock with Sim Racing Systems on Assetto Corsa. Lots going on, practice tomorrow, and then the big thing is this weekend starting at 6 in the morning for me, Saturday morning, finishing 6 in the morning, Sunday morning, is the 24 hours of Spa. I'll be running with Avid Chronic Racing. I will be streaming all 24 hours of the race. So that should be fun and exciting. And then, of course, behind the scenes, I'm still working on the Next Level Racing Motion Platform V3 review, which is coming out, and the Sim Experience AccuForce wheel review. Both of those are a little delayed, but both of them are in the works. So hopefully we'll get caught up. It's going to be tough to get caught up in the next 4 days, but next week we should be able to do it. Anyway, hope you enjoyed the show. It was fun for me despite being under the weather. Hopefully I'll be feeling better in the morning tomorrow, and I just don't like not being in that super cheerful mood that I normally am in. So thank you for being here. Thank you for being part of the show. We'll be back later at 6 o'clock with that SRS race on Assetto Corsa. This is the Simpit. I'm Sean Cole, and I'll see you on the track.